Hey, this is Doug from Life on a Homestead, and in this video I'm going to show you a chainsaw hack that's going to help you measure your wood like that. No tape measure required. Stay tuned for my bonus chainsaw sharpening hack at the end of this video. So we produce a good deal of our own heat here at our homestead. We have a wood boiler system and we have an indoor wood burning stove. So I actually have need for 3 different lengths of lumber. And the 3 different lengths would be about a 16-inch length for the inside wood burning stove. And then I need 2-foot and 3-foot lengths for our boiler. Now the reason I need those 2 lengths for the boiler is because we have about 4 different people loading the boiler, and when the logs get too big, 3-footers are too heavy for certain people to lift in our family. So I have kind of a rule of thumb: if it's under 8 inches, kind of 7 inches and under, then I cut it into 3-foot lengths. If it's 7 inches or over, I cut it into 2-foot lengths. So I started out having the kids run ahead of me with a piece of chalk and a tape measure or a little template stick, and they would just mark off the logs like that. That was a great way to keep the kids busy, but when I was cutting wood myself, I had to figure out a way to quickly mark my pieces of wood so I could just get on with cutting down the logs to size. So what I finally came up with was, on my handy dandy Echo 450, I actually marked out the lengths on my saw. And so I have an 18-inch bar, so I marked out a 16-inch marking on my blade. I marked out a 2-foot marking, and then I marked out a 33-inch, which is just the end of the saw, so I know that 3 inches beyond that is my 3-foot marking. Alright, so we're not talking about engineering tolerances here. Within an inch is just fine, that's not a problem. But what I started to run into was, I just was using a Jiffy marker, a black permanent felt marker to do it, and that was just wearing off and getting dirty. And so I thought, well, what's the most permanent thing I can think of that I can carry along easily with me? And what popped into my head was a secret ingredient you'll find in nobody's chainsaw toolkit except mine: liquid paper whiteout, office correction fluid. So I use that to actually mark lengths on my saw. So on the blade right here, I have a 16-inch mark. Right here is my 24-inch or my 2-foot mark. And then right at the end, I know that's 33 inches. I made a mark there. So if anybody else is using my saw, they know as well. So I make my 3-foot logs just slightly larger than that. So I'm going to show you how this works in action. That's how I make it quick. That's how I go through all the lumber that I need to go through for the winter. So between cutting up the rest of these logs and butchering those chickens that you hear in the background, we also have a fantastic site for the homesteading community at lifeonahomestead.com. Urban, rural, and backyard homesteading tips, raising chickens, heating with wood, living off the grid, self-sufficiency, organic gardening, you name it, we got it. Visit lifeonahomestead.com, leave your email address, and start joining in on the conversation in our homesteading community. So when I'm getting ready to sharpen my saw, you need to mark the tooth that you start sharpening at, so you know when you spin all the way around, you know where you started. So what I use, the same stuff that I used to mark the lengths on my saw, is just plain old office whiteout, liquid paper, correction fluid. So I keep a little bottle of this in my chainsaw kit, and when I sharpen, I just mark one tooth with the whiteout, and then I know when I've come back around to the beginning, I find my white tooth and I'm done.